Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Shahar W. Khan, Executive Plastic Surgery, Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. So as you will see, I just removed a set of implants from a nice 35-year-old lady. And as you can see, this is the new implant that was just introduced in September, the Establishment. And this is your 145 cc implant. Now what's interesting is you can see it has a green tinge to it. The other thing that's interesting is it's micro-textured, it's not smooth. And lo and behold, as you will see, there is actually a chip. This is the RFID chip. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut this open, and I'm just curious to see. Now this is, believe it or not, the same technology that was used in pets. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this open, and you will see this is a chip that's present, very odd. And as you will see as I cut this open, this is this chip that's embedded within that implant itself. And as you will see, I have not seen this before. This is newer technology. The Establishment basically has these in their devices. And this is called the RFID, very similar to what the pets have in order to get the serial number information about the implant. Very odd, very unusual, and I find it very interesting that the manufacturers would put something like this, and number two, that the FDA would allow this, and number three, the FDA would even allow introduction of what is a micro-textured implant into the market. And so this is very interesting to see. Now the other thing I want to do is I want to just cut one open. As you will see, this is the implant, and this is what is the gummy bear implant. And you can see the consistency of the shell and then the inside. Now remember, as you have seen the many cohesive gel implants, they will disintegrate and they will melt. It is sad. Seen the many cohesive gel implants, they will disintegrate and they will melt. It is sad and very interesting that the FDA would approve what is a micro-textured implant, especially when they have been associated with a lot more inflammation. Certainly the smooth saline, smooth silicones are, but certainly the textured implants have a much worse rating, if you will. This is Dr. Khan, Executive Plastic Surgery.
Damn. Damn. This dude, Esau is the devil. Hey, I want to say shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai Ba'ashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule and teach well. Blessings and salutations to the whole elect. Those in this gospel broad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, wherever they may be. This is the Akia Mahaloya coming back with another lesson through the Spirit. Lord's will be edifying. Oh, man. This shows you here that this is the micro C-hip that's inside a breast implant. I believe this is a breast implant. And I say that because the round silicone shape, with certain women, they want to get like breast implants. And then you got women that get breast reductions as well because, you know, sometimes through hormone growth, the breasts can exceed the limits of the actual BMI of the person. But this devil was putting RFID chips in breast implants or implants, which, you know, you had pacemakers, you had different forms of prosthetic surgeries that people will get to get these devices put inside them. And all of a sudden, you know, Esau was putting this in breast implants, and he mentioned that it was approved and written off and signed off by the FDA, which is the Food Drug Administration, I believe, which is basically another, how can I say it, is another company or another corporation that's funded and ran by the small hats to totally hijack the food systems in America. And this is why 95% of your pharmaceuticals are toxic and cause inflammatory responses in the body. Okay, this is the same corporation that allows red number 5 yellow number 40 or red number 40, yellow number 5, you know, and these different chemicals and artificial chemicals to get passed through your food, man, because basically they're giving payoffs. It was a documentary on Netflix called Painkillers, and it goes into the small hat family of the Sacklers, which hijacked the MEDICINE industry, the pharmacia industry, I say it that way, and they was trying to push these toxic poisons that got people hooked on these drugs in order to keep the profits rolling in, which is same concept as a dealer on the street. But the difference between a dealer on the street is they get locked up for intent to distribute, mainly tax evasion, because they're not paying taxes on the drugs that they're selling. But in fact, it's the same thing that they're doing in these Walmart supercenters behind those pharmacia counters, man. But this is crazy, man. And Esau knows, because he knows the low self-esteem of the black woman, mainly the women in the West, because they pump all these witches in front of you like the Kardashians. Like every woman in California want to look like a Kardashian, with lip fillers and cheek fillers and, you know, the hair weave and the skin bleachers and the creamers and all this other stuff with the white toenail polish. And everybody wants to be a Kardashian, which that bitch look like a stepped on shoebox, man. But yet they play on the emotions of you simple women in here, because they know that you go out your horizontal way to look like a damn celebrity. So they put this stuff in your implants, and before you know it, you walking around, chest burning, the phone ring, feel like you're getting ready to have a damn heart attack, because these MOTBs have been linked to like cancer. You know, because at the end of the day, they're radio frequency identification, which radio frequency emits radiation. Okay, anybody that got a iPhone or a new Android or whatever you want to call it, you go into the agreements and you go into the settings, they would tell you about RFS exposure, which means radio frequency exposure. So how much more in your body, man? And this is why this is why Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is going to destroy this so-called white man, because it's blatantly obvious at this point. And you got guys out there that continue to say, well, this ain't the MOTB, that you can't say that. Well, why the hell not? And why they're pushing so hard to put this type of technology into every damn thing, to the point they're shooting chemicals into the food, going back into the 2020 ordeal, 2021 ordeal, when people was kind of negating and opting out of getting that such and such, they was finding on a way to put it in the food, man. Somehow, some way, they wanted to put it in the chicken, the lettuce, you know, GMO lettuce with this type of, with this poison in it, just to get people to take it. Because at the end of the day, the scriptures say the devil should come down to you having great wrath, because he knows he have but a short time. All right, so this is scary. So all you women out there that's getting breast implants, whatever you want to call it, hey man, you better read the fine print, because if they stick this inside you, whether it goes in your hand, your forehead, your left arm, your big toe, your ass cheek, shit, let alone the BBLs that these women are getting, or the butt implants, hey, they can have all types of microchips inside that joint. You see what I'm saying? And it's going to cause you to eat a missile. So let's get a precept real quick. It's not going to be a long lesson, but they're scary the times we're living in. And this is getting ready to be the reality of everything. And this is the reason why they're bringing these so-called tariffs, and they're going back and forth with these world leaders, which is coming against the people, because they want to incorporate climate change and, you know, Agenda 25, or no, Agenda 2030 and Project 2025. And, you know, they're bringing all this. They're basically setting up for a digital world. Hence, smart cities are going up like overnight. All right. So this is 2 Corinthians 2:11, and it says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, we're not ignorant of his devices. OK, and we here at Great Millstone, this is what we push. OK, this is what we choose to really focus on, because it's prophecy, it's prophetic. OK, as the scripture tells us in Ezekiel, go out and give Israel warning from the mouth of the Most High. So this is our job, to warn our people to not take this. But you have naysayers and gainsayers that come up against us and call us conspiracy nuts and false prophets and crazy people, because this under the skin surveillance, which is a real ordeal. OK, banks are being shut down. People's accounts are being closed. You know, cash is getting ready to be out of circulation any day now. You know, they're doing away with the pennies, with the nickels, probably soon to be the quarters, because they want to put this inside you. And in order for you to cross over into that new world, which they want to unalive 6.5 billion people anyway, but for those of you that miraculously make it to the NWO, you got to have this. And even when you do have this, they're going to still unalive you, man, because Yahweh Bashim Yahushai commanded us to not get this. All right. So, hey, once again, 2 Corinthians 2:11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we're not ignorant of his devices, okay, which this is nothing more but a device by the so-called white man, which is, as Apostle Tahar say, is really Yahweh Bashim Yahweh. And this can, I remember, and I don't want to misquote the apostle, man, because I know he said this is Yahweh Bashim Yahushai's mark, okay? But see, when he said that, because you got to understand there's two concepts of mark. You got the Thawra, which is the mark of exemption, and then you got this MOTB. And the reason why I said that is because the Most High controls the so-called, he controls the world's, or he controls the leaders of this world. Okay, he's putting in Esau's spirit to do just this. So for somebody to come on a comment board and say, see, you said that was the Most High mark. That ain't no the Most High. Can't nothing go forth in the world without the Most High stamp of approval. Okay, so why it is Esau's pushing it, it's the Lord on the left-hand side operating through Esau to make it make sense for those of you that like to scoff. Because you got guys, man, they find the smallest things to make a big deal out of. You know, you could slip up with the tongue and misquote someone. You could accidentally sneeze and say shalom. These niggas be ready to throw a stone at you, bro. You ain't pronounced the wom. You ain't say wom correctly. You going no. You ain't say it right, brother. Like, man, you don't get your ass off my page with that shit, bro. But anyway, here's the book of Psalms 33. And I'm going to start at verses 10. It says, for the Lord bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught, and he maketh the devices of the people of none effect. Okay. And this is nothing more but another device that's pushed through this so-called white man through the left hand of the Most High. All right. So, hey, when the global economic collapse comes, when they collapse the dollar, and they start to shut down the economy, when things starts to go left, the famine kicks in, that solution is going to be the chip. And if you women want to get these surgeries and these butt implants and the cheek fillers, you're going to have to get the MOTB. You're going to have to get the MOTB in order to shop at your local neighborhood Walmart. Okay, you want to fill your gas pump up, you're going to have to get that MOTB. And it's going to be by default because for the simple fact, the system is going to require you to have it. Okay, it's deeper than just, okay, well, if you want to get your money, put this chip in you. That's too much of a coercion. They got to, they have to do it through passive aggressive means. But eventually they just going to start saying, look, if you don't get it, you're going to die. Or we're going to put you in a detention center and we're going to put something on you. Because they're going to have algorithms set up to already classify people with certain categories, man. Like AI is going to be totally biased towards Israelites, period. You know, so they already going to have like some type of minority report of a database to show you who's not fit for the new world order, who will possibly resist, and the social credit systems will all come into play, and that's how they're going to start to single people out. All right, so it's going to be more than just, okay, well, society is the way it is now. We can't serve you because you ain't got the chip in your hand, but you could still use a debit card. Nah, that's not how it's going to be, man. At least not in the long run. Initially, you know, things are gradually switching over, but the system is going to require you to do so because this current system with the dollar and with this current credit-based system, everything is going to be flip-flop. So they're going to shut this system down and they're going to come up with this new system, which require an upgrade. And the upgrade is going to deal with this. In order for you to be autonomous, so to speak, then you have to opt into the system. And that's how they're going to push it through coercion, man. You know, because they know a lot of people will revolt against it. So they have to take things from people gradually, take away their jobs, as we're seeing, bankrupt the economy. As we saw during the trade wars, the Dow was collapsing, you know. Then the rents, you know, people losing their homes, people losing their vehicles, they losing their jobs. You know, healthcare insurance is lapsing, people sick, you know, and people going to need to get the treatment that they need, but they're not going to be able to get it unless they opt into the system. And this is why we tell you, brothers, now is a time to start paying attention to your health, bro. Because see, look, when shit hits the fan and they shut this thing down and you all out of shape, you all messed up, your diet is horrible, you know, you can't walk 2 blocks without gassing out, You need to go to the emergency room. You ain't gonna be able to get the help you need because you ain't gonna have the MOTB. Even though, you know, the Most High is gonna heal us regardless, you know, what we go through, but still is a mindset to start practicing discipline and abstinence from certain things, man. All right. Let's go here. Revelation, which we all know the scripture by heart, but let's start at verses 15. And it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast shall be killed. Okay. And when you go into this word kill, which we've went into this several times before, but you know, for you new listeners out there, this is what we will, you know, we go through these things. But it goes into kill in which way, whatever, because there will be beheadings, okay? Firing squads, whatever, you know, gas torches, whatever. They're going to bring back all sorts of executions, man, to eliminate as many people as possible, as quickly as possible. Remember, they used to have those big FEMA coffins that I think they stated it could fit a grown individual or a child, or two grown individuals and a child. They used to have them all like plugged out in a country somewhere. They had these big FEMA coffins, man. And I believe that they still got those. But it says here, to destroy, allow to perish, meaning, hey, they can starve you out. If you don't have the necessary credentials to operate on this current grid, then, hey, you can't get a job at McDonald's because you ain't opting to the New World Order. Then basically you're going to have to go on a prowl, you know. And it's going to be so heavily surveyed to the point that somebody may desire to give you food and they might get fined for it. So it's going to have to be a lot of underhanding and backdoor and shit going on. But it says to extinguish, abolish, to inflict moral death, or to deprive of spiritual life, or procure eternal misery in hell, which that goes off. You see? But it says, and causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And Dr. Khan said it. He said they put it in the implants because they wanted to track the serial numbers in them, which they don't have to put an implant in there, bro. You don't need a chip inside of an implant to have a tab on it, man. You already have it on the box of whatever you ship through the SKU numbers. You already have it inventory. In inventory. Okay, but this is just another way to secretly get people to accept this MOTB, which will have to be a conscious effort, you know, a conscious decision, you know. But it says here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for this the number of the man, and his number is 666, okay, which we understand that 666 goes into man or beast, and it goes into this system, you know, the universal product code. All right, that number is everywhere. It's in the fast food chain logos, it's in CERN, it's in the World Health Organ, you know, it's in everything subliminally. The number 6 revolves around Esau's kingdom. You can see it pretty much in anywhere if your eyes are open. All right, Revelation 14. And I'm going to start at verses 9. And it says, and a third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or his hand, the same should drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he should be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, which proved this is not talking about an actual hell, because in an actual hell, you're separated from anything righteous of the Most High. So how the hell are you going to be in the presence of Yahushua and the holy angels if hell was a total separation from God? All right. And plus, your spirit can't feel pain. So, you know, it's the flesh that feels it, you know. And once it gets unbearable, what happens is that the spirit extracts from the body and goes back to the Heavenly Father. And the body goes back to the ground or wherever it perishes. And it says, and the smoke of their torment is sending up forever and ever. And they have no rest day nor night, and whosoever worship the beast and the image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Okay, so we're commanded not to take this chip. And when it goes into forever and ever, it goes into a long period of time, because America is going to burn for a long period of time, man. All right, it's not talking about that you're going to be burning forever and ever, but hell, the Most High can leave your spirit in that fire, or your body in that fire, with your spirit attached to you, which seems like an eternity, which can literally be 5 minutes, man. Because a lot of people that's gonna get burnt up by the missiles, hey, a lot of them are gonna feel like they're burning in that fire for fucking thousands of years, man. And it literally is just a quick death. But in the spirit, hey, the Lord can keep the spirit in the body to get all that. So it ain't gonna be no quick death for a lot of you. A lot of you gonna backstroke in that fire. You know, and it's gonna be a scary sight to see when this whole landmass gets nuked. Golly, man, that's gonna be terrifying. All right, Revelation 16, and I'm gonna start at verses 1, and it says, "And I heard the great voice out of the temple saying to the 7 angels, Go your ways, and pour out the vials of the wrath of the Most High upon the earth. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image." Okay, now when you go into that grievous sore, it goes into like a, I think it was like a cancerous sore, like a boil almost. Grievous. Hold on, let me find it. I think I'm passing it up. There we go. Sore, which goes helkos, which a womb producing a discharge pour, a sore or ulcer. Okay, like cancerous. Ulcer, open sore, or an external surface of the body caused to break in the skin or mucous membrane which fails to heal. Range from small to painful sores in the mouth of bed sores to serious liaisons, man. All right, so yeah. A wound producing discharge and pus. And you heard what that doctor said. He said that these implants and that chip can create inflammation in the body, which leads to diseases. So it makes a lot of sense in my opinion. But anyway, I'm in it, giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Lord's will you edified. To the next lesson. Shalom.
And from a nice 35-year-old lady. And as you can see, this is the new implant that was just introduced in September, the establishment. And this is your 145 cc implant. Now what's interesting is you can see it has a green tinge to it. The other thing that's interesting is it's micro-textured. It's not smooth. And lo and behold, as you will see, there is actually a chip. This is the RFID chip. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut this open. And I'm just curious to see. Now this is, believe it or not, the same technology that was used in pets. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this open. And you will see this is a chip that's present, very odd. And as you will see as I cut this open, this is this chip that's embedded within that implant itself. And as you will see, I have not seen this before. This is newer technology. The establishment basically has these in their devices. And this is called the RFID, very similar to what the pets have in order to get the serial number information about the implant. Very odd, very unusual, and I find it very interesting that the manufacturers would put something like this, and number two, that the FDA would allow this, and number three, the FDA would even allow introduction of what is a micro-textured implant into the market. And so this is very interesting to see. Now the other thing I want to do is I want to just cut one open. As you will see, this is the implant, and this is what is the gummy bear implant. And you can see the consistency of the shell and then the inside. Now remember, as you have seen the many cohesive gel implants, they will disintegrate and they will melt. It is sad and very interesting that the FDA would approve what is a micro-textured implant, especially when they have been associated with a lot more inflammation. Certainly the smooth saline, smooth silicones are, but certainly the textured implants have a much worse rating, if you will. This is Dr. Khan, Executive Plastic Surgery.